firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for all the birthday messages that you left on last week's video. I had a lovely birthday and it was so nice to read through all your comments, so thank you so much. So for this week's video tutorial, I thought I would do another gum paste flower tutorial. Now, you all know that I love making gum paste flowers, and in the UK at the moment it is lavender season. So I thought I would show you how to make this nice gum paste lavender, which would be perfect for birthday cakes or to add to wedding cakes. Okay, let's get started. So the things that we're going to need in order to make our lavender is, first of all, I've just got some gum paste or some floral paste. Now I've just coloured this one with the Wilton Violet and just added some blue to get this nice lavender. I've got my edible glue, I've got my lengths of wire. Now this is just 24 gauge wire, and this has already been covered in some paper green tape just to save us having to cover it ourselves. I've got some grape violet and some foliage green edible tints, my rolling pin. Now you don't actually need any cutters if you don't have any, but I'm just going to use this Lily of the Valley cutter just to make it a bit quicker. Now this one measures around 1 centimetre in width. Now if you want to create some leaves to go on your lavender, I've also got some floral paste that I've coloured in a foliage green, some slightly shorter lengths of my wire, some of my green floral tape that just matches the same colour that we've got on our wire already, my Dresden tool, my foam mat and my veining board. Now all this is going to do is just add a raised area onto our leaves so that we can add our wires in. So I'm just going to start by taking some of my purple gum paste. Now I've got my Lily of the Valley cutter here, and you can use a daisy cutter or something similar. Now I'm just going to use this to make sure that all my pieces are the same size. So I'm just going to roll out my gum paste until it's a thickness of around 2 to 3 millimeters. Now for each strand of lavender, depending on what size you want it, I usually have around 25 to 30 pieces. And from each of these little shapes, I'm going to get 6. Take my craft knife and just separate each of my flowers so we get these teardrop shapes. Now the reason that I'm using this method is just so that they all come out roughly the same size. But if you don't have a little cutter, what you can do is just roll out small balls and roll them into a teardrop shape. Just roll in those slightly just to smooth them off where we've cut and just bring them down into a point. Okay, so here we have all our small pieces of lavender. Now I'm going to take one of my wires and my edible glue. For the first one, I'm just going to dip the end of my wire, pick one of those up, just slot that on the end, run your fingers down that wire, just smoothing the gum paste on. I've then just got a small paintbrush and I'm just going to pop some edible glue just onto where that gum paste comes down the length of our wire. Taking our teardrop shape and we're placing it with the point facing down and just push that down onto the wire so that we're getting this nice bulbous bud coming out from the center stem. You then just want to work your way around, just pushing those on. Now for each row, you just want to do between 4 and 5. You then want to come slightly down, so just adding some more edible glue just onto the ends of that lavender that we've already applied. So every time you're just sticking the next one on to the end point of the previous row. Now the great thing about lavender is every piece is always different, so there's no right or wrong way to add it on. Now once I've come down about 1 inch, I'm just going to wind some of that gum paste just around the wire, and I'm going to leave a small gap before I add the next one on. Now sometimes lavender will go all the way down, but sometimes you'll get these small gaps, so you just want to make sure that you're pinching that gum paste onto your wire and just continue down until I've used up all of my pieces. So this is just giving the impression of lavender before the flowers have started coming out. Once all of those have been added on, I'm just going to wind that bottom around just to bring some of that gum paste down, just to finish it off. So there we have our first stem of lavender. Now I'm just going to pop this to one side just until that's dry so that we can add some colour. Okay, so once they have all dried, I've just got some violet edible petal dust and some foliage green. I'm just going to pick the purple up on my paintbrush and just dust it onto the ends of some of those lavender buds. So all I want to do is just add some different shades of purple. You then want to pick up some of that green. I just want to tuck that just between some of those areas so it looks like it's coming up from the bottom of those buds. So once all that colour has been added, here we have our finished strands of lavender. Now you can either leave your lavender like this, or you might want to add some leaves. I'm just going to take some of that green gum paste and just roll a ball of around 5mm. I can then tape it down the sides so it's slightly fatter in the middle. You then just want to bring in your veining board and just roll over the top. This is just going to give me a slightly raised area in the center that I can push my wire into. Now, if you don't have a veining board, that's absolutely fine. Just leave the center of your leaf slightly wider. Dip the end of the wire into some edible glue and just push that into the leaf, securing it in place. I've then just got a leaf veiner just to add a bit of texture. I can then take the leaf onto my foam mat, and using my Dresden tool, I'm just going to put a line up the center from top to bottom, and this will just allow me to bend it in slightly, giving it that nice leaf shape. Once those leaves are dry, I'm just going to bring back in my petal dust and just take some of that green and just add some different shades onto them. I can then bring back in my lavender, and I've also got some of my floral tape. So I'm going to take my first leaf and just bend it slightly at the point where the leaf meets wire, so we get a slight bend. Now I'm going to come down about 1.5 inches from where the lavender ends, wet the end of that floral tape. I can then start to wrap that around, pop on another one of these leaves, and once you get to the bottom, just break that off. So we've got our lavender there. So you might either want to just add your lavender in with other flowers, so we've got the version with the leaves, or you may just want to tie them together and add them to the top of your cake, or possibly in a wreath to go round your different tiers. I really hope that you like how it looks and will find this video useful. If you do find the video useful, then don't forget to give it a like. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then you can head over to the video section of the Cake Splendid YouTube channel, where I have loads of other examples of gum paste flowers. You can also subscribe to the Cake Splendid YouTube channel so you don't miss any new content. If you do, then don't forget to hit that notification bell, and that will just alert you every time I upload a new video. So until next time, bye!